Good morning. On behalf of the International Seabed Authority, I welcome you all to Warsaw and wish you a successful workshop. I'm sorry that I cannot be there in person. I want to thank the Ministry of Environment, Government in Poland, and especially my good friend, Minister Mariusz Orion-Jędrzejczyk, for inviting us to hold this workshop in Warsaw. I also thank Piotr Nowak from the Ministry of Environment and his team, as well as Dr. Tomasz Abramowski and his colleagues at IOM, for their tremendous support to ISA in the logistics and other arrangements for making this workshop possible. The first DSM technology workshop took place in 1994, when the Preparatory Commission for the ISA convened a meeting of a group of technical experts to review the state of deep seabed mining and to make an assessment of the time when commercial production might be expected to commence. At that time, information notes were submitted by 5 of the registered pioneer investors: India, Ifremer, Geologia, DORD, and IOM. It has been a long road since then. The last workshop on mining technology for polymetallic nodules took place in February 2008 in Chennai, India, in cooperation with the Ministry of Earth Sciences of India. India, IOM, and Geologia also presented progress on processing technologies into copper, nickel, cobalt, and manganese. One of the achievements of that workshop was to develop a preliminary cost model for a deep seabed polymetallic nodule mining and processing venture. With the knowledge gained over a decade since, it is expected that the present workshop will address issues such as methods to reduce the overall cost of processing and the use of clean technologies. The polymetallic nodule resource has been compared to terrestrial nickel laterite ores, which can be processed via pyrometallurgical or hydrometallurgical means, although it may be expected that the exploration, mining and transportation costs could be substantially higher for the mineral resources of the area than the laterite ores. The processing of seabed resources and smelting plants are going to be land-based industries and thus located beyond the regulatory jurisdiction of ISA. Nevertheless, all metal production processes are directly or indirectly linked to the impact of greenhouse gases and waste production. Contractors need to take into consideration the overall environmental impact of metallurgical processing, CO2 emissions and waste treatment. Hopefully we will hear more about measures to control carbon emissions and waste, and I note that Deep Green will be addressing processing technologies from an environmental perspective. Considering that the mineralogy and chemistry of nodules and cobalt-rich crusts are similar, it is anticipated that the procedure of their processing would be similar as well. For polymetallic sulfides, though the technology is well known for their ancient land-based analogues, certain features of the modern massive sulfides may impact the extraction of metals. At the moment, as you know, the Council is working on the financial terms for exploitation, including the different options for payment mechanisms. Although the latter is beyond the scope of this workshop, one of the biggest unknown factors in terms of understanding the financial model of a mining operation is the costs of processing. That is why I am pleased to see that Professor Richard Roth from MIT, who has been helping us develop a financial model for DSM, is attending the workshop. I hope that the input of the participants will help to remove some of the uncertainty around the relative merits and risks of different metallurgical processes and allow us to make some estimation of cost for each method. Let me end by wishing you all an enjoyable stay in Warsaw and a successful workshop. Let me also add my thanks to KGHM for organising a field trip to the smelter at Glogov, which I had the pleasure of visiting myself last year. I'm sure it will be a great experience. Once again, I'm sorry that I cannot be with you, but I wish you a pleasant stay in Warsaw and a very successful workshop.